Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Internet. Thanks for joining us here. This is Coded Live, and this is Maui Day. We are starting off with my very good friend, Maddy. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
And there.
It's been a busy streaming day, been an hour and a half already, and this is 4. And then our good friends are doing a State of CSS survey
Ooh.
type, another 2-hour thing in the evening. So it's going to be a good, fun day. Our friends are starting to show up. Yep, Scott, this is live.
You're
I mean,
live.
how much can we fail to prove it to you that we are live? We are very good at failing.
Yeah. I would turn on my lights in front of me, but it's raining out and I don't want to blind myself. So I'm kind of in the shadows, but that's how you really know it's live. If it was recorded, I would have lit myself well. So
Anyways, so we are here. So let's begin by Maddie is graciously starting us off. I'm going to bring up your desktop here, Maddie, if you're ready.
I'm
Um,
ready.
let's talk about what's on the cards today.
Yeah.
So quite a few of our friends that we tapped into. Maddie's starting us off. Maddie works with the .NET MAUI team. So she's going to give us an update on where things are at. Then we have Gerald coming in. So this is going to be fast-paced. I am going to be sitting for 4 hours if I can. I might pace around a little bit, but the rest of the folks are going to come in and out. There's only as many people we could fit in 4 hours. So we have Gerald coming up next, talk about .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. Dan Siegel joins us to talk about all things open source and all the fun and the frustrations sometimes of open source and where things are with .NET MAUI and Prism. We'll have Alyssa Nichol talk about some publishing stories or nightmares
Cool.
or fun stuff. Lance is going to join us to show off some cool UI. Sean is going to talk about gaming. He's been building some really cool stuff. I'm always jealous when I see other people build really fancy UI and then I look at my apps. I'm like, yeah. And again, speaking of beautiful UI, Leo Moritz joins us to close off the day, and she's awesome with amazing UI. So it's going to be a fun day. And let's see if this will work, because we are doing something else on the side. Let's see if our bots are working. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So while we talk about all things .NET MAUI, the island of Maui has had a rough time with some wildfires, and they are, still, people missing, a lot of damage to property. So we are trying to do our little bit here, trying to raise some funds for charity. So we are partnering up with the American Red Cross Hawaii. So anything you can, anytime you can, that Tiltify link is where we are trying to raise some funds for Maui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good idea. I'm glad that you thought about doing this. We've been trying to figure out the best way to kind of talk about our product that's named Maui without being insensitive or awful. But I know that we internally have had some giving campaigns that Microsoft has been matching, which has been really nice. So we've been doing a lot of that. This is a great way to get other people involved. So thanks, Sam, for setting it up.
And I see our chat room and our usual friends here. Hey, Carl, Sam, and Maddie. We are also trying to see who's the most engaged in the chat room. So this is your time to ask us anything you want. While our demos fail, this is going to be an opportunity to ask us things. And for the most best questions, most interactive audiences, we have 4 Amazon gift cards that we're going to give away towards the end. So keep the chat going.
Yeah. 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And there's the other Maddie in the other multiverse.
Hi. That's multiverse Maddie.
Oh, hey, Alan. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So, Maddie, start us off. Where are things with .NET MAUI?
All right. Very exciting. So I'm going to kind of do just a whip around coverage. We're not going to get too into the details on a couple things, but we're going to talk about the things I like because I like them, and some other things about Maui. It is .NET 8 season. You can download the preview. We are on preview 7. It just came out at the beginning of August, and as you know, it kind of roughly ships once a month. And if you look at the history, preview 7 is traditionally one of the last previews before we go to RC. So you should be expecting an RC.NET 8 build coming out shortly. which will, of course, be shipped at .NETConf, .NET 8GA, which is November 14th through 16th. That's going to be online and virtual as always. It's the 13th year of it. Unlucky number 13, maybe? I don't know. No, but .NET 8 is going to be great. We have been fixing, if you're a Maui fan or participate. Oh, Carl, you finally got it to not autocorrect. Maddie, good job. I can't even tell you how many emails I get that are like, hey, Mandy. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Maddie. Maddie. I'm like, it says it in the email. It's okay. Yeah, but very exciting. .NET 8, we've had a bunch of customers actually who are doing Xamarin migrations who aren't planning on shipping before November anyways, upgrade straight into .NET 8 previews, and they're really enjoying it. Performance is awesome across the board, not just with Maui, but with Blazor. And the bug fixes are like crazy because we can't backport everything to .NET 7. I know that is a contentious topic.
Yeah.
We want everything in .NET 7, but it just doesn't make sense for us to spin all those builds.
I mean, engineering is expensive. We sometimes have to choose where we put our love and care.
Yeah. One of my favorite things, like the least sexy but still most exciting thing about .NET 8 and Maui right now, is we have a whole new suite of regression tests, and we keep adding them. So now anytime anyone makes a PR to Maui, there has to be not just unit tests, which we've always had, but like actual proper visual UI tests that we're building on Appium, and we're doing it all open source in the Maui repo. So you can go and like check that out. But that's been awesome because we've been proofing it with the .NET 8 previews, and we've been spinning up these builds and finding regressions we're causing and our other fixes and fixing them. Who would have thought testing your code would actually help you catch issues? We're very excited. And so there's a whole bunch of people across like all the different teams that work on Maui who have been working on that, which is awesome. Yep, I know Refresh is broken. It's on the bug list. Thank you, Scott. I got you. Anyways, you can download this by using the Visual Studio installer and checking off the .NET 8 preview box. The VS Mac installer has it. You can do all the command line things. You can download an installer. You can download the binaries. You can use Homebrew or Winget or anything that you prefer. So go nuts. Have fun. Maui's in there. And let us know what you think. Feel free to file bugs on .NET 8. Just because it's a preview doesn't mean we don't want your feedback.
Hey, Maddie, quick question. On in the .NET 8 bits, we are putting in the NuGet packages for Maui, or there are a couple of extra ones. Is that needed, or are we still doing workloads?
You can do whatever you want. So workloads are still supported if you install the .NET 8 previews, but if you want more refined builds, granular, or not the workload that's going to be given to you with the SDK because they're locked, you can go into the GitHub. You can actually go to the Maui GitHub. Not this one. That's a later issue. .NET Maui. And you can just go to literally any commit, and on here there are builds, and you can just hit like, where is it? Oh my gosh! Look at all these tests. Look at all these passing tests. You can go to the NuGet artifacts, and I don't know why I'm not signed in. But
Dan is here.
Oh, what's up, Dan?
Testing code.
Dan, you're right. Well, we had a bunch of tests, a bunch of UI tests in Maui, but I mean in Xamarin Forms, but Xamarin UI tests never supported Mac or Mac Catalyst. So we either were going to have to go like rebuild UI test or just rewrite our UI tests with Appium, which is what we've been doing. One of our team members has been able to like kind of mishmash the Xamarin UI test syntax for like the actual tests into working with Appium, which is how we've been able to get so many up so quickly, which has been great. But so okay, great question, FlashAware. It is backed by a framework. It is Appium under the hood with some custom junk that we're writing to make it more familiar to Xamarin UI test. It's all in the Maui repo, but currently we're just proving it as like an internal concept. So the plan is, assuming this works well, which I feel like it is, but like I can't make promises because I get myself in trouble doing that. We are going to try and package it up neatly and actually start documenting it so that all of you can use it. We just decided that we were going to build it internally, get it off the ground, build it externally for use internally, right? before we start trying to productize it to really prove it. And that just helped with like the velocity of getting these tests out. So definitely check it out. I know a couple people like Morton, everyone loves Morton, actually just contributed a bunch of stuff to help our tests with like image comparison. So thanks for that, Morton. But it's very readable code, so you can check it out. Yeah, Dan, that's a good idea. Updating Zapium. Anyways, we also have like cool feature things in .NET MAUI that we are shipping in these previews besides bug fixes and testing. Keyword accelerators are like the biggest thing. You can actually like make hotkeys custom to your app now. Very exciting.
Good for desktop. Very, very good for desktop.
Yeah, great for desktop. And of course, there's more like memory leak fixes, some better UI stuff, some platform specific stuff. One of the previous MAUI previews, .NET 8 MAUI previews, we had a bunch of like click handlers, gesture click stuff. So that's also been great for desktop. So this is a really big release for desktop. I'm very excited about it. And then I wanted to show this slide, which is from our team planning that just happened like a month ago. We do our semesters. I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell you this, but we do our semesters named after elements in the periodic table, which makes no sense because nobody knows what gallium is, where that is in the periodic table. And the next one is germanium, which how would I know that? I don't know. The one after germanium is arsenic. And so I'm really hoping we don't skip it because I would love to do like our tools arsenic semester planning. I think that would be really fun. Anyways, I wanted to show you this slide because this is actually a slide of customers who are now shipping apps with MAUI to however they ship their apps, whether that's the store or anything else. There's more than these. These are just the ones that we've allowed or have allowed us to share their logo. So lots of cool things. Anytime you sign
big
for
names
a package, by the way, that's a MAUI app. Just have fun with that. So I also saw that we were allowed to say that most of the North American large airlines use MAUI in some way. I can't say names, but I can say that. So that's cool.
And there are not many
yeah.
big North American airlines.
Yeah. We have heard loud and clear that people want more customers' stories and all that stuff, right? I mean, you're not going to use something if you think nobody uses it, but it turns out people do use it. And if you're not on here and you want to be on here, let us know. We love adding people and learning about what apps people are building. Both of the major beverage providing brands use MAUI or Xamarin and into MAUI in some way. I also can't say the names, but if there's two beverages you're going to pit against each other, I'm sure you can guess what they are. So very cool stuff going on in MAUI land. It's very exciting. And .NET 8 is going to be great. So whatever. That's the screen, right? I should do demo. Questions, comments, concerns?
No, I think we're good. And I mean, you don't have to say it, but we can kind of do the math. Preview 7, you got 2 months left, a couple of RCs into November with .NET 8.
Yeah, you got it.
So.
You got it. And RCs have a go live license, by the way. So if you're eager to get your app out and you've been building with .NET 8 previews, the RCs, like you can ship that with the same license that we ship with .NET 8 GA in terms of like support and blah, blah, blah. So I know that for most people, they're like, yeah, I don't care. For some people, it's very important to have the proper license in what you're shipping, which is probably good. So all good things. All right, I am going to minimize this. I'm sure Sam is sending the links in the chat, or Nightbot is, or whomstever, to all the things. So cool. Let's talk about one of the coolest things I have gotten to work on in a very long time. VS Code support for .NET MAUI. So there's a lot of state of MAUI stuff we can talk about. Like Visual Studio is not going anywhere. Like we're still adding features. It's an IDE. But this is something that I think I'm very energized about. And so I'm hoping we can get more and more people using it and giving feedback. And so that's what I'm going to spend like the next chunk of my half hour talking about. And then hopefully there will be time for Q&A still. We shipped an extension. It is the .NET MAUI extension. I want you to know how many hours I spent in meetings about what to name this extension. This is what you get in live streams that you don't get in talks from me. This was .NET MAUI tools for C# Dev Kit, .NET MAUI tools, .NET MAUI extension for VS Code, .NET MAUI for C# Dev Kit, .NET MAUI Dev Kit, .NET MAUI, .NET Multi-Platform App UI, MAUI tools. I was going to kill someone, like very truly. I thought that was going to be the end of my life in like April, trying to name this thing. But we finally got it. I said, nope, .NET MAUI. People will figure out that it's for a VS Code extension. That's what it is. And so we shipped it. It's very exciting. We have 6 5-star reviews. That's pretty good. It's got over 10,000 downloads. It is built on this thing called C# Dev Kit, which is the like overall like makes Visual Studio .NET projects work kind of well in VS Code without building any custom VS Code UI. It's still like totally built into how it works. It's just adding kind of a next level of support, and we'll talk about what that means. And then that's built on C#, which is formerly OmniSharp. What they've done is upgraded that to the new language server protocol LSP thing. OmniSharp, you can still get like the old OmniSharp if that's what you want. No, Dan, the 6 5-stars reviews were not just me and my team. Every time we've seen one, I've checked to see if I knew who it was, and I only knew one person, and it was a community person, not a team member. So I've been very tempted to leave us a great review, but I have not yet.
Okay, so Maddy, before you go on, this may be an awkward question, but we're on stream here. Nothing's being recorded for eternity. VS Code is extremely popular for everybody else. We are not the audience. Like, we are inside of Visual Studio for Mac or Windows, but VS Code is for everybody else. Yeah. So what's been your take as you roll out VS Code? Like, who is this for?
Yeah. So there's a couple different people, like target customers, if you will. But when we look at, for me, the most important target faction, right, is people new to .NET and generally new to software engineering. Like, I'm thinking coming out of school, or even in school, because .NET is going to continue to grow because so many giant companies use .NET and they hire people. And if they don't know .NET, they learn .NET. But I would love the people who are going out of school and like starting their own projects and own startups and all those things to be able to like get up and running with .NET easily. And when you think about a kid in college, like, I know I had like a laptop. I mean, this was a while ago now, so my laptop wasn't like the laptops people have now. But like, to download a 20 gig IDE to like do a file new project and noodle around with something, absolutely not. Do you know how many like bad games I had on my laptop taking up that 20 gigs? Like, that's just not something I would do. And it would take forever. And like, so VS Code's a lot easier. And also, if you're doing JavaScript, which a lot of people are, you're also probably in VS Code. Yeah.
Exactly. When it lowers the barrier to entry, like tiniest laptops, just throw in a lightweight editor and you're up and running.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of the reason that there's no way that this would ever replace VS. Like, this is for people who want to use the command line and want to know where everything is installed and like want to add and remove things as they see fit. VS is much more of like the, here it is, go nuts, which is great when you want that. But some people just aren't like that. I don't know. Polyglots, if you will. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. But
are you singing, Maddy?
I am. We have a show in 2 weeks in Boston, if anyone's around, at the Silhouette Lounge in Austin. So
nice. Dan's making another point. I mean, VS Code is just so lightweight. It's just so quick. Like, if you have to show like a lot of demos like really quickly, it's just really quick to just switch between. And this is not just a Microsoft or an Apple problem. Like, you look at Xcode or any of the Windows or Mac updates, it's like, it's just a few gigs. Nobody cares anymore. So
yeah, in VS Code, the team is very strict on like not adding a bunch of custom UI just because, right? Keeping the startup times and the download size is really, really small and lightweight. So it's been a fun challenge for us. I mean, working on Visual Studio for however long, you're like, yes, this feature must have a wizard. and 18 pieces of UI and 1 zillion little tooltips in VS Code. It's like, I swear to God, if you see a wizard in here, I'm going to kill you. Like, oh, okay. So it's been fun. Yeah, okay. Let's look at it. So C# Dev Kit gives you a test explorer, which I'm not really going to talk about because that's boring. And I already talked about testing. But also a solution explorer and debugging. So this is the Weather 21 project. It's from the Maui samples repo. So you still have your, oh my God. How do I zoom this in? Hold on.
Are you on a Mac or Windows? Yeah, we are on
Windows. Yeah. This does work on Mac, by the way, for those of you interested. And it is the exact same because it is a cross-platform editor. Excuse me. All right, there we go. So Control 1. You still have the regular like VS Code file explorer, but I've actually been keeping this closed unless I'm switching between repos a lot. And you can just open and exclude. What did I do here? You can just open a solution. So let's actually open one that's going to load. Who knows what I broke? Can I close this? Close solution. Nice. Open solution. And then this shows you everything in the workspace you're currently in. Let's create a new one. I'll open a new workspace. How do I do this? New window. VS Code is confusing when you are new to it, but I'm not. I'm going to create a .NET project. So no folder open. I have open folder, which was there anyways. And then I also have the create .NET project thing. This is a hard-coded list of templates right now. So that's why it doesn't have everything, but one day it will. Gives you .NET MAUI, pops this open. This is very weird. You have to put this in a blank folder, just FYI, or it just puts you in an infinite loop. We fixed the error message, but put it in a blank folder. So like, let's do paddleboarding app. We're gonna actually take out the spaces. I'm smart because then I think it will name my app paddleboarding app. Hello?
Yeah, while you're doing a chat room is talking about Macs for iOS development. It's always been a thing. It's yes and no because these are native apps that you're building, so you do need Xcode somewhere to go do the build for you.
Yeah.
Mac Mini is what a lot of people use to try it somewhere on their network, unless you have devs on a Mac doing VS for Mac or VS Code.
Yeah. Yep. Very smart. We don't have remote yet, so you can't do. Hi, Sean. You can't do VS Code on Windows to VS Code on Mac for builds yet. I think it's something that we're going to do, but I don't know when.
Baby steps. Flash aware. Baby steps. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Flash aware. I like that. Live share for Test Explorer. That's smart. What is going on? Why is nothing working? This worked earlier. Oh, well.
Because who was questioning whether we're live or not?
Yeah, seriously. As always. Okay, yeah. It's just not in the mood. Let's do this. Let me open one.
But it does have all the same templates that you have in Visual Studio. So you can totally new up an app and it gives you all the bells and whistles of how you debug and deploy.
Yep. You know it. That's loading. Solution Explorer. There we go. What did I do? Anyways, there's a Solution Explorer and it works. This is peculiar.
You can file bug reports live on stream.
Yeah, that's true. I can't do that. But I'm wondering if this is because I'm running a bunch of internal stuff, and so it's not actually our fault for once. Anyways, I will show this thing. So yeah, so this thing has a bunch of links in it to docs, all the different things. Scroll through, but I'm gonna go in here and then I'm gonna pull this over here so you can look at me. Use it, and then we're gonna go to VS Code installation preview. There you go. Very, very easy. You have to do a manual install for everything, by the way. Like, we don't install things for you because that's not what VS Code does. So have fun. we have a bunch of like Android troubleshooting steps, because if you've ever tried to manually install or set up an Android environment, like it's a pain. If you install everything through VS, by the way, it just works. Just a heads up. So if you already have VS, I would use that and rely on that. But if you don't want to install Visual Studio, that's okay.
Our command line does it all too.
Yeah, that's true. And then build your first app. Let's go here. So when the extension actually loads, there's these curly braces next to the language of the file you're on. So right when, like in VS Code, when I open a file, so like the C# file, which this is weird because like the IntelliSense and everything is loading fine, but it says down here, we call this the language status item, but there's like it tells you what language you're in, right? So if I switch to a XAML file, it'll say XAML. When the extension's working, they puts little curly braces next to it, and if you hover over it or click on it or whatever it is, it gives you this stuff that you can flip between. So your startup project and your debug target. And when you click debug target, it gives you a bunch of options. So I think I can actually open it if I do Control-Shift-P and then I do .NET MAUI, like pick startup device, right? So this is what the menu looks like. And it will, like, obviously Windows, it builds an unpackaged app, by the way, an unpackaged MAUI app, so it's wicked fast. And then Android, iOS, which is build only. It's just so that you can check for errors. And then, it's 1228. Shit, sorry.
It's all good.
I made it almost the whole screen without swearing. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of other stuff. The most important thing right now is when you go to debug it, I know, please don't get mad at me. When you go to debug it, you want to, no, it's not going to work. You want to choose .NET MAUI. There's one that says .NET 5 Plus. Don't use that. There's one that says C#. Don't use that. Use the one that says .NET MAUI. At some point, we're going to unify all of those, but there's some weird under the hood stuff we're working on to do that. Anyways, yeah, use the extension. Let me know what you think. It doesn't have hot reload right now, so that's kind of a pain, but we're working on that really actively. We've had a couple customers that have been like, this is amazing. Like, I'm never going to open Visual Studio again. And I'm like, I don't think that's the norm by any means. I don't think that is what people will be saying, but some people are really happy with this. So definitely try it out if you're a VS Code user. We have a couple people who have been like, I hate you. Why are you spending engineering resources on this? VS Code is awful. So there's both sides.
It's for a different audience. You cannot match it up to a full-on, Visual Studio. It's all the XAML IntelliSense, but it's for a different audience. It's lightweight, gets you started. Okay, so a couple of things, Maddy. Sean is twisting your arm to come and speak somewhere. So,
sorry, I probably haven't looked at my email because I keep taking days off and then not responding to my email.
And then,
so
yep. So you two figure it out. But Thindle was asking some things about builds, and if you're doing build agents and any maybe CI/CD does VS Code. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be the same as what you do with command line. But any thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you look at the MAUI repo or you look at the MAUI samples repository, a lot of that has CI/CD. So you can definitely use those for inspiration. I saw the question about where I got my hoodie. It's from Gerald's Bonfire Shop, which goes to Black Girls Code if you get the dark mode one, and then Girls Who Code if you get the light mode one. The hoodie, light mode in pink is what I'm wearing. It's the best. So, anyways, that's the important thing.
Napalm Code's good for you on the Blazor hybrid thing. That's getting quite a bit of traction as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What's the recommendation to get around issues with iOS builds? Good question. File a bug. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and look around Napalm. I think you may not be the first one. So Lance is coming up later on. I know he does a lot of with GitHub Actions as well. So stick around. Maybe we'll try to figure it out together. Lance
is my neighbor by he lives like half a mile from me.
Nice.
It's terrifying.
Oh, and Flashover is pointing out to a good thing. .NET Conf, that is not just a Microsoft thing. It's for everybody and by everybody, the .NET community at least. So Call for Content is open until the end of the month. So go do that if you want to come and speak. There's going to be, so the first day is all things .NET, and then the third day is all things community. So it's driven pretty much entirely around the clock, 24-hour stream on all things community.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Maddy, you and the team, and we're missing David Ortno here.
I know.
With some dad mode,
He's like
but
working hard or whatever.
yeah.
So,
but
can't
thanks
relate.
for all that you're
Thanks.
doing.
Hi, Gerald. I hope he's in the wings. Bye,
Yeah.
Gerald.
Hi and bye. Gerald, if you're ready, we're going to bring you on here while we have Maddy, just so you can say hi to your own teammate.
Hello.
Hey, shirt.
Hello. Oh, nice shirt. Oh my gosh. Twinsies.
Love.
Yeah, I was here for you plugging the store shop
Oh,
thing.
good.
Yeah, there's a bit of a story there. I think someone from the community made this. I should have remembered his name probably. Which is really great. And they put the design on the .NET Foundation GitHub. There is a GitHub repo with like all kinds of swag, which is mostly just images and things that you can use without any copyright or whatnot. So I decided to put it in a bonfire store, and I don't make anything from it, which makes me sad sometimes if I look at the counter. But then it makes me happy because all that money is going to charity, right? So
yeah, I have at least 3 or 4 of those colors, so thanks for doing that. And Maddy, thanks for hanging out with us. This is
Also, if you come to DevReach in Bulgaria, I'll give you one of these stickers. Just FYI.
There.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the flag.
Thanks, Sam. Bye, Gerald. Good luck. Have fun.
All right. Bye, Maddy.